China has many gods, but one of them gets more attention than all the rest. If you've ever been to China or lived there for a while, you might notice something curious. People put the god of wealth on their doors. They worship the god of wealth in their homes. Shops and companies put tiny god of wealth dolls on their counter. And it doesn't stop there. Phone cases, wallpapers, screensavers, all covered with the god of wealth. Birthday cakes don't say happy birthday. They say get rich or get insanely rich. Red envelopes don't wish you peace. They say very honestly, may you get rich. During Lunar New Year, people welcome the god of wealth and invite him into their homes and businesses. And that raises a very interesting question. Why is the god of wealth everywhere? And why, instead of wishing peace or blessings, do Chinese people prefer to say 恭喜发财, wish you wealth? Hey there, this is Emma Gong. Among all the gods in China, the god of wealth is easily the most popular and the most beloved. Today, we are going to explore one big question. Why did the god of wealth become the biggest superstar in Chinese religion? Don't rush to think this culture is materialistic. There's something important you need to understand first. For most of Chinese history, people didn't pursue spirituality first. They pursued survival. There's an old saying, when food is sufficient, morality flourishes. And there's a reason for that. Traditional life in China was extremely risky. One year you had a good harvest. The next year you could starve. Taxes were unpredictable and usually not in your favor. Wars could hit the east today and reach your home tomorrow. In a world like that, not having money didn't mean being poor. It meant being unsafe. So Chinese people developed a very practical logic. Survive first, dream later. In Chinese history, wealth wasn't about greed. It was about safety and dignity. Wealth meant survival, and it meant access to opportunity. So, to put it simply, Chinese people don't love money. They fear not having enough. And so, a very specific god emerged. A god who doesn't deal with souls or morality, but focuses on one thing only, helping you live a better life. Many people think that worshipping the god of wealth is just a superstition, but it's actually the opposite. This belief isn't about magic. It's a strategy for surviving reality. Money is a universal problem, and worship becomes a way to cope with uncertainty. Because life used to be incredibly unpredictable. Working hard didn't guarantee success. Crops depended on the weather, and the fate often depended on other people. So what do? You can't break down. You still have to keep living. So ancient people created a system. They placed their hopes somewhere else, so their minds could stay calm. It became a form of emotional comfort, psychological adjustment, and self-repair. Put simply, people didn't worship to change destiny. They worshipped to avoid breaking down. And honestly, it's kind of brilliant. In the West, people say, I'm stressed, I need therapy. In China, people say, I'm stressed, I'll pray to the god of wealth. Low cost, high effectiveness. The god of wealth became a top star for three main reasons. First, the demand for wealth is universal. It cuts across class and geography. Business owners want big profits. Office workers want promotions and raises. Families want stability. Young people want freedom and a chance to rise. Everyone is chasing the same goal, a slightly better future. Second, The rituals are incredibly easy to do. There's no religious barrier. You don't need training or doctrine. All you need to do is hang a picture, place a statue, change your phone wallpaper, or send a meme. The cost of the ritual is cheaper than ordering takeout. Third, the system offers a wide product line, a wealth guard for every kind of need. The God of Wealth isn't just one guy, it's a whole cast. For civil wealth, you have people like Bi Gan or Fan Li, wise scholars or businessmen who represent stable, honest prosperity. For martial wealth, you have Zhao Gongming, gods who symbolize protection, boldness, and fortune that defends itself. And for windfalls or quick luck, there are folk legends like Liu Haichan, the luck and windfall vision of the wealth god. What does this mean? No matter who you are or what you need, there's always a vision of the wealth guard for you. Perfect match, fast spread. This isn't a theology, it's marketing on a divine scale. In modern China, blessings about wealth are open and straightforward. Westerners say, "I wish you peace and happiness." Chinese people say, "I wish you wealth." It's not materialism, it's honesty. Money is a foundation for happiness, so wishing someone prosperity is really wishing them a better life. Because it's embraced by everyone, the God of Wealth has become part of everyday culture. Traditional religious icons demand seriousness. This one doesn't. The God of Wealth is no longer limited to shrines. It lives in memes, t-shirts, phone cases, live streams, and birthday cakes. It doesn't need solemnity, it needs closeness. At this point, the God of Wealth isn't just a deity, it's a cultural symbol. For many people, wealth is seen as a pathway to upward mobility. Today, wealth feels like an open game, unlike the old days, when it was locked inside hereditary classes. Everyone has a chance to rise. Everyone hopes to turn the tables. Which is why worshipping the God of Wealth has become a public, humorous, and shameless ritual. And the more pressure people face, the more popular the God of Wealth becomes. High housing costs, intense competition, and constant anxiety leave little room for failure. Worshipping the God of Wealth isn't a superstition, it's emotional detox. So when Chinese people worship the God of Wealth, they are not worshipping divine power, they are worshipping hope. They are not worshipping money, they are worshipping a sense of security. They are not praying for instant riches, they are praying for a chance to turn their life around. In other words, the God of Wealth isn't a supernatural force. It's the everyday belief that life can get better. If you enjoy a story like this, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you in the next story.